You said that a lot of things that Docker does can eventually, or is maybe moving towards more chat GPT oriented. And we see that a lot of coding as well is going towards chat GPT, and people are using Gemini and things like that. So you have been both. You are obviously a developer, and but you're also kind of a DevOps expert almost. I mean, obviously there are more to learn for everyone, but you know both these domains pretty well. So in your opinion, what could these AI ML models replace first, DevOps or like the pure coding of the software?
Uh, okay, so I think that what AI is doing is, to be completely honest, is this. It's The AI is very good at creating boilerplates. So it's
Yes.
very good at creating, I don't know, something that works. I don't know.
Mm,
Give me a front end in SJS with Tailwind CSS that reads these APIs.
yeah.
Probably will do a good job, I would say.
Mm,
Is this enough? Probably for an MVP, but of course, like handling a company, it's not the same thing. Also,
exactly.
I would like to say this: if everything becomes easier, we are just moving the 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 line.
The
So
bar.
we are just raising the bar. Yes, you're just
Yeah.
raising the bar. Then probably so companies will need to create products that scale more.
Mm, yeah.
That's the thing. Like if 10 years ago you needed a team of people to just scale something, now probably with an expert you can create an app that can have like millions, if not 10 millions, billions of people.
Yeah.
But also there are more people who have, like, everything is scaling up. So we have also bigger problems. In the 90s, nobody was, maybe Amazon, they were creating an e-commerce.
Mm,
So now probably, I don't want to say that I can create an e-commerce in a weekend, but let's say probably you can create an MVP in days, weeks. So it's maybe even less. It depends how experienced you are in that domain. But does it make sense to create an e-commerce today? Maybe. In the 90s, it was harder, but who
mm,
made it? Like Amazon, they had a huge advantage, eBay. So now everything is scaling up. So it's easier to create an app. So yes, but we also are creating more complicated
mm,
apps. So this is where, uh, like, this is why I say that it's, if you are a developer, you can't ignore AI. I think that will be a mistake. I don't know. Never
correct.
use GitHub Copilot and never use ChatGPT just because you want to learn in a certain way. I would say that you should absolutely use these tools because they are tools, and it's the same for content creators. I would say 99%. I would I would not have now a silver button here there if there was not ChatGPT, because ChatGPT allowed me to prepare the live streams, to prepare a video, to double check if I'm something that I'm not experienced. So, will AI replace developers? Not in the short term, maybe in 100 years it will not be our issue,
100
but
years.
everything will change. But things are really changed. We are not coding like we were coding 30 years ago.
Yeah.
So we know that if we want to be developers, this is part of the game. The part that you need to stay up to date
Yeah.
is part of the game. So um, that's my point of view. I heard something which I consider crazy, like you should, stop coding at all, or not even try to pursue a career in
Exactly.
tech.
That's why, I want
And
to ask you this question, because so many people comment on our videos now that you guys won't even have a job after 5 years because all developers are going to be replaced by AI. And I think, I don't know the future, but it doesn't seem like AI can replace developers that easily. I think there's so much more that goes into it, and especially people who work in the front end. Like a lot of audience who doesn't know a lot of coding, they would hate, or they would comment people on front end that, hey, I can just create a UI very easily. But I feel they don't understand that even in front end you have APIs, you have security mechanisms, you have authentication, you have data handling. There's so much more that goes into it that I don't think it's going to replace. Yeah, what do you think?
I mean, will be influenced by AI what we do.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Mhm.
But I think that let's try to think with brain instead of with heart, because with heart I would say just do it. With the brain I would say, in which direction is the humanity going? I think we are going to a humanity that needs more software, that needs that we are always like more tech. Maybe we'll also go to Mars in some decades. So we are going in a direction when tech is not stopping at all.
Yeah.
So working in tech will still work in tech. We probably will have more people working in tech in the future, not less people. Maybe we'll have more people. On the other side, we can't be lazy in terms of understanding how things work. Like maybe I don't know, maybe 40 years ago you can just I don't know, you learn SQL and that's your job for a while.
Yeah.
Now we really need to be ready to to switch,
Adapt.
to understand, to adapt, perfect. And maybe this is stressful, but again is a part of the game. In the meanwhile, maybe maybe we are creating content because it's also part of the life. Developers were not creating content 20 years ago, also because like YouTube was not a thing. Now we are also creating content. We are doing great, for example, on Instagram. So this is part of the game. But I want to believe that people who work hard, that also create content while also staying in coding and stay up to date, will get a reward. I think that will be fair. So that's the thing. So we need to be really ready to and flexible, like we have a very strong mindset. But to
Yeah.
be honest,
Yeah.
I think that people who are interested into coding and learning, and they will stop now because we have they're in AI, will regret this decision in 5 years, because maybe it's never too late. I mean, the earlier you get into tech, the better. If you want to pursue a career in tech, it's not mandatory, but if you are curious about programming, you just need to run and evolve quickly. That's the game. I never heard someone who said, I am so bored in tech. Usually it's the opposite. We are always overwhelmed, but
Yes, there's so much.
part it's part of the game. So that's it.
Yeah, to add to both of your points, I really agree. And I heard this somewhere and it really clicked with me. And nobody knows the future. So AI might replace software developers, but developers who are using AI will for sure 100% replace the developers who are not using AI. So that is something that really like sums it up.
Yeah, that it would be kind of a tool that you use.
Yeah, like a copilot that we're already, as Francesco, you mentioned that you're already using AI, ChatGPT, generative AI to create YouTube videos, to do, the multiple variety of things that you do in your daily life. And I mean, it's the same with us as well. We use generative AI all the time, like for work, for, creating video strategizing and stuff like that. So it's, I mean, in a sense, it's making us more productive.
Absolutely, it makes me way more productive. I could not keep this pace and doing these things. Of course, it has to be used in a mindful way, not just copy pasting stuff. So people like even copy pasting even the intro of ChatGPT in the content. Please don't do that. So that's it's a tool that we can use at our own advantage to save time, which is precious, especially for content creators that are working basically for free or almost for free for an extended amount of time, is hoping that this will change our lives. I can say that content creation changed my life multiple times. Now I work in DevRel or the six figures.
Mhm.
Like it's really changing my life. But absolutely, we should use AI, especially if we work in tech, especially if we need some coding parts, and then we know. And then if you are the expert, a tool in the hands of an expert, it becomes very powerful. But that's the
Absolutely.
thing. It's I I don't think that we have less people like who would like to become developers.
Hmm.
This is not my feeling.
Yeah.
Probably things are changing so fast that we don't know, but it's okay. It's part of the future. We'll see. We'll see in 5 years if we right. But otherwise, we should have stopped in the 90s. I mean, I remember I'm old enough that when Google came out in 1998, people said, "Okay, we can stop like I don't know, doing everything because Google is already giving all the answers." This is not what happened. I know this is not what happened.
Yeah,
I
and I
can.
think you summed it up by saying that in 5 years, if someone decides not to learn coding in 5 years, they might regret it. I think that was a perfect statement
Yeah,
because I do think that software engineers have a future in which they will become more and more important because everything is becoming smart around you. Light bulbs, watches, everything is becoming smart. So I think we will need more developers and more people in tech.
yeah. Also, I have this is not sponsored, but for example, I have the Ray-Ban Meta, which can also be very. I highly recommend them if you go on trips and stuff. They are useful. You can also go live on Instagram. Didn't use that feature much, but of course, it's something that it can be interesting, and of course, they need the software for that. We need some integrations. We don't know, but if we think that we should stop coding because of AI, we should have stopped in 2021. In 2022, when GitHub Copilot went out. We are here in 2024. We are still here. It's I can tell something that probably, but don't think it's just AI. I think the market it became a bit harder compared to 2020. Maybe this is my feeling.
Yeah.
I like to give honest feedback. This should not make us stop by like trying to pursue a career in tech. I always say that it's probably finding your first role is probably the hardest part. So probably that part became even harder compared to 5 years ago. But once you have the right connections, I think that it becomes then it becomes easier. And of course, best of luck, everyone, and huge kudos to everyone who is trying also to share these things
Yeah.
like you are doing. Thank you.
Thank you.